Hello, hello, my fellow stitchers. How are you today? Good afternoon. All right, I'm still making sure that all of my windows are open so I can give you guys what you need as you guys are all checking in and whatnot. But welcome, welcome. My name is Jen. This channel is Genetics Creations. These are my creations, and literally my channel is just dedicated towards me teaching you all how to make whatever it is that you guys are looking for when it comes to all things yarn. I'm kind of a little bit of a yarn nerd. So today we're going to do another diagram. So if you guys were with us last week, we did some bookmarks and we got a little introduction into diagrams and whatnot. So today we're going to be doing another scarf. A lot of people really liked the shawl that I did in the first class. If you guys haven't checked that out, again, all my live classes get saved on the Get Hooked playlist. That playlist should be in the description. If it is not, I will make sure it is after I am done here. But it is available for you guys to go back, review something that maybe you missed, or even just in general, just take a class that you maybe didn't know about until you started following me. So that being said, a couple things are changing. This is the last Wednesday class. Starting next week, I am switching to the same time, but every Thursday. With my son and sports and whatnot, I don't know why I keep trying to do it on Wednesdays, but it's going to be crazy if I have to reschedule every week. So instead, I'm just going to make it easier. We're going to switch it to Thursdays. Thursdays at 2 o'clock. I am on the East Coast. I am in California, so 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is where you guys will find me. I will update everything. I've already been blasting it out there, so if you guys already follow, you're already in the know. If you guys are new, hit the bell, notify, all that fun stuff, because I schedule them ahead of time, and it will help you not forget the next class if you are looking to do this weekly with me. I do a class every week, and I might even build on more depending on what you guys are all looking for when it comes to learning crochet and all things yarn. So, other things to dive into, how I keep my hands camera ready. If you guys don't know, one of my other addictions is Color Street nail polish. I love it because it's dry nail polish, it's real nail polish, it's made in the US. They look like stickers when you get them, but there's no tools. You literally just you overlay it. The video is on my link. It's in the description. I have a video where I show you guys how I put it on. But you stick them on, you're rubbing your nail until you get all of it nice and adhered, and then you just file off the ends. And because there's no dry time, I can go and do my nails right before class. And as you guys see, I'm not going to be nice to them. I'm going to go ahead and just start stitching. And so we're going to get going into our project. This one is Forever in Bloom. This is one of the newer colors that came in one of my Color Play boxes. They do have a monthly subscription box, but you don't have to do it. And it's like a glitter with an overlay kind of all in one, which is making me really want to try overlays on top of my glitter way more. So anyways, that is the Color Street Nails of the week. A little bit about if you are a beginner. Maybe you're new here and you don't know all the things that we have. I want to get you hooked up with this free tool. This link is in the description. You should be seeing it on your screen now. But just to show you what it is, it's free. It's completely free, and it's just to help you get started with crochet. So if you're totally new and it gets very overwhelming, sounds like a different language, I don't blame you. It can at first until you really dive in. But this will help. So it's free. It's just, you can download it. It's, I think, 4 pages. You can print it off, have it with you when you guys are looking at other patterns. Maybe you're at other videos and you're just like trying things on your own. This link right here, this is my virtual business card, whether you want to email me, whether you want to reach out on my other platforms or whatnot, or if you want to check out my Etsy shop, because everything I make, I sell on there, and I also have patterns for sale as well. So if you're on the hunt for some really dope patterns, it's there. But this tool is just to help you guys start speaking crochet. It's free, so download it, print it, keep it with you. It has abbreviations and things like that. And I know we mentioned diagrams, which is what we're going to be working on today, is off of a diagram. But a diagram, you may not know these symbols or be familiar with what they mean and where they come from and all of that. So that is available to you guys. Here's a picture. I have the project with me, but it's kind of hard to fit when my camera is zoomed in so much. So I took some pictures, but this is what we're going to be making today. It is a triangle shawl. I have been on the hunt for a lot of texture. So my addiction lately has been anything that has different elements of texture. So this one you've got like, I kind of think it's more like a rippled or a petal looking effect going down. And then we have this border, which we're going to work for about 6 rows. And then I opted to put fringe on mine. Some people are not fans of fringe. So again, as with most of my patterns, there's a lot of ways that you guys can kind of personalize it. You can stop and not do the border. I think that would have been a really good touch as well, and I almost did that when I made this first one. I'm probably going to make more, and I might play around with leaving the border out. But my husband, he was actually a fan of the border. He felt like it took the piece to another level. If you guys want to put in the comments which way you prefer, maybe you can help me out, because I'm working with the guy's opinion. And ladies, I think you guys will agree, like, we're just never on the same wavelength with our men. So that being said, let me know what you guys prefer. Do you guys think it looks better with a border or without, and with fringe or without? I know we kind of have like team fringe, team non-fringe out there in the crochet world, but this is how I usually wear my triangle shawls. I'm always a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl, so when I have these shawls, they really kind of pull together my outfit, in my opinion. Now, if you are new, let's see, this was done with a DK weight yarn. Most people are familiar with like your Red Heart or your Karen yarn. A lot of that's your worsted weight, or they also say 4. You'll have different numbers that correlate to the thickness of the yarn. This one was a DK weight. It's typically a little thinner than your worsted weight that you are probably used to. Not many people dabble into DK weight until they start playing around with more wearable items. But this one is ranked as a 3. I think it's a little bit of a heavy 3 in my opinion, but it is a thinner yarn. I did use a smaller hook for this one. I'll show you guys. The yarn came from Knit Picks. So this is the site. I'm not an affiliate with them. I'm actually completely new to them. I scored this yarn at a yard sale. So if you guys are ever looking for ways to save money, if you haven't tried looking for yarn at yard sales, or even on Facebook Marketplace, or even at estate sales, you are missing out. Yes, you don't have as much control over what you get, and you don't always get high amounts of yardage, but I will tell you, it forced me to try out a lot of yarn I probably would not have purchased, and it's made me branch out as a crochet enthusiast, if you will. So that being said, the yarn that I worked with for this project was from Knit Picks. This is their site. I'm probably going to check them out a little bit more. This is my first time working with their yarn. Looks like DK weight tends to cater more towards knitters than it does crocheters. Not that that's anything bad or not, but I think that's why you have things like Knit Picks versus a yarn generic name and stuff like that. They do cater more towards your knitters. But let's go ahead and transition. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of this, and so that way we can start looking at the project at hand. And this is, oops, I just totally hit my camera, sorry about that. But this is the live look. So you can see a little bit more the texture that's going on. We're going to be creating the shape. Believe it or not, if you are new to crochet, this is super beginner friendly, in all honesty, because it is just going to be a 2-row repeat until we get to the border. And then you're gonna, it's a 1-row repeat at that point, and then your fringe, which I've actually taught on another video, but I will run you guys through it again, is just what you're gonna finalize it with at the end. So here's a little bit of a closer look. There's the texture, the overall look of it. This is your border, and so you can kind of see, wow, let's get the fringe out of the way. The border, how it kind of transitions, it becomes this, they call it kind of like a fishnet style crochet. Super simple. You guys will fly right through that, I promise. And then followed by fringe on the end. Again, you could opt to stop here or stop there, or you can do all 3 layers if you're making yours at home. So again, I did DK weight. Here's the yarn that I used, but if all you have is worsted weight, I encourage you guys to go ahead and do it anyway. That way you know whether or not you like the pattern, and then you can go and invest in going to Michael's or your nearby craft store. If you guys only have a Joann's, I am so sorry. I did hear that Joann's is unfortunately closing, and it breaks my heart. I've been laid off multiple times in the retail industry, and I just hate seeing more retailers close. But that being said, at least you now know another place where you can go online and get some yarn. Again, I already pulled up their website. I will have to throw the link up there, but it's knitpicks.com, just knitpicks.com, one word, and check them out. I haven't bought from them yet, so like I said, I'm not an affiliate. Again, I just scored this secondhand off of somebody, and it worked really, really well. So that was a DK weight. I'm going to be demonstrating today's pattern off of a worsted weight, which is probably what most of you guys have. One, I don't know how this pattern looks off of worsted weight. Yes, it will be thicker. That's the no-duh statement, but sometimes it can affect the draping of a project. So if you end up trying it with a worsted weight and you're like, man, it just feels a little bit stiff, it feels a little bit rigid, you may want to go and buy DK and do this video again. So save this video, go get the yarn of your dreams, practice with me today so you can ask your questions and make sure that you've got it down, but then go and get the yarn of your dreams and then make the finished project is kind of how I do it. This is a diagram. So if you guys were not here last week, again, diagrams are just maps. They are literally just maps. Now, this is the picture they had with the diagram. I fully do not think mine looks like the photo. So I think they may have adjusted the diagram a little bit on the photo. Ignore my notes. I just wrote some stuff and I don't even think I kept up with the notes. I ended up using about 1,200 yards. I do make my shawls a little bit bigger and more dramatic. I'm taller. I like the triangle part of it, or the what will become this part of it. I like that to be about 65 inches. Some people opt to go a little bit shorter, around 60, so you might use less yarn if you're doing that, but I'm taller, so I tend to like things, my shawls to be big and dramatic again. I'm always in jeans and t-shirt. This is my statement piece when I go out and about. So I usually opt for about 65 inches. I've seen people even making them bigger, like up to 70 and beyond, which I think is amazing because you have like a personal Afghan wherever you go. And I take these, like, I even take them camping. So we're going to go ahead and go off of this diagram. If you guys want to screenshot it, let me get this in a place where you can. Now, if you'll notice, this does not include the border. So when we get to the border, I'll show you what I did. I might even try and attempt to draw in that element so you guys can take a picture of it at the end of class and have the written diagram form of that border. But either way, you're going to know how to do it. I promise you that, because we are going to cover it all today. If you guys are new, my favorite hooks are the Susan Bait hooks. I've talked a lot about them, so I'm not going to go into depth. This package I've had for years, but I included a link for the one that is still available on Amazon. And then you may not need a yarn needle for this. Maybe. It's easier. I always find weaving in the ends at the end. I just said that twice. But anyway, weaving in your ends is so much easier with the yarn needle, and I am just a real big advocate of getting the metal yarn needles instead of the plastic ones, just because I do a lot of sewing on buttons when it comes to my headbands, and the plastic ones, the eye will not go through the hole of a button, but if you have the metal ones, they will. So I'm just going to use a standard hook for whatever worsted weight. I think I'm just using an H, so nothing too spectacular. We're going to dive in and get started. So grab a drink of water, grab your yarn, your hook, and hopefully you're nice and comfy, because we're going to get going. Now for this diagram, the beginning does say that we're going to be chaining 8. If you can't see that, it has like a circle and then an 8. What that really means is you're going to chain 8 and then join to the beginning to create a ring. I hate rings for some reason. I'm going to do a magic circle instead, but I want you guys to go ahead and pick your poison. So if you want to go ahead and work on chaining 8 and then joining to the beginning with a slip stitch to create a ring, go ahead. Otherwise, I will demonstrate the magic ring and we can do that together. I am right-handed, so I am feeding my yarn from left to right. So my yarn, I'm pulling it from this way. Here's my yarn ball. Blue, 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 blue. I don't know why I felt the need to make that noise, but there you have it. That's the yarn ball, and then the cut side is going to be over here. In my left hand, we're going to make a magic ring. This is the way I do it. I will go slow, but I do know that this is a difficult concept for a lot of people, so just bear with me. If you guys are comfortable with this, just sit tight and be patient for anyone that may be learning this for the first time. So you're going to go over and crisscross applesauce. This is the live yarn. My cut end is on the bottom right here. So you're going to hold the hook the right way, go under the first, over the second yarn, and I pull through. Now, in order for me to actually do what I need with this ring, I do tighten it just a little bit, but not all the way. I just want it to be something that I can hold comfortably, because we're going to be stitching into it. What are we stitching into it, Jen? Let's look at this. Okay, so since I want you guys to be able to see what I'm looking at and get a feel for this, because I would love for you guys to start downloading diagrams online and start being able to navigate these projects. We're going to be going 1, 2, 3, those dots. If you remember the tool that I gave you in the beginning, it tells you this, but those dots are chains. And then these, they look like crosses. They look like really tall crosses or lowercase t's. Those are your double crochets. So we're going to chain 3. That counts as a double crochet. You don't need to know that per se, but just be aware. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by chain 2, because we got 2 more dots, and then 6 double crochets here. So we're doing a lot of stitches into that magic ring, but I promise you it will all work. My proof is that I've already done one of these. So we'll do this now together. So if you're new to all of those stitches, no problem. I have videos, but I will show you together. We're going to chain 3. So you're just going to yarn over and pull through 3 times. That is our first stitch. Now we're going to work those double crochets. So another way to look at it is the amount of times that you have a horizontal bar, that's how many times you are yarning over. That's just another cheat, because when you get into treble crochets and stuff like that, you may forget what the names are. It doesn't matter. At least the map tells you what to do. That's why I love these diagrams. So we're going to work 5 double crochets before we do that chain 2. So yarn over, go into the magic ring, pull up 1, yarn over, pull up 2, and pull up 2. You're going to do that until you have 5 double crochets, all going into that same magic ring. And guys, if you have any questions, I have my chat open. Feel free to ask in there. I am more than happy to answer it. I love tailoring this class to you all. It's why I got into crochet, is because everyone wanted to learn. Didn't realize people didn't know. Didn't realize people didn't even like that they wanted to know. I thought it was a lost art. All right, we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to chain 2. And we're going to do our 6. And then we're going to tighten that ring. And here we go. 6 double crochets. But yeah, I had no idea people still really wanted to learn crochet. Now, I know that when it comes to these crochet animals you see all over, and the weebles or the woobles, I haven't tried any. I'll fully confess I haven't. One of my friends did, and they were so cute. Those kits are amazing. But they have made crochet popular again, and it's good to see so many new faces wanting to learn something that I honestly thought nobody cared about anymore. It's hilarious. Alright, we have the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and tighten that ring before we move on to the second row. So let's go ahead, and this, if you can see, so this is, sorry, I keep referencing both my screen and what's in front of my face. This one is what we're going to pull, and you should see that get tighter. So I go ahead and I pull it until it's all the way tight. What we're going to do at the end is take your yarn needle, and I actually will work that in under these, and I'll go a couple times around just to strengthen that when I'm done, and then go from there. But let's go ahead and work that second row so we know what's going on. Okay, now this is a new symbol. We didn't have this symbol in the diagram from last week, so this is kind of a perfect project because you guys got the basics from last week with the bookmarks, but this one throws in a front post, so that's what that question mark looks like. But it's a double crochet front post because it's also got the horizontal bar. So if you kind of remember some of the basics, you'll start speaking this really quick. But let's go ahead and see what we're doing. So we went this way, now we're going to go this way. Over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, followed by a front post double crochet, which is going to go around that one, and another one, and it looks like it goes around each of these double crochets. We'll stop when we get to that middle section because I don't want to give us too much and lose all of us. So let's do this together. That second row, we're chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to turn it around. Front post double crochet. We've done this before. We did it in the pattern with the blanket where we were doing the alpine stitch. We also did it with the basket weave stitch. So you should be a little familiar with it, but I will go slowly. So yarn over, because it is a double crochet, and you're going to wrap it around that front post. So hopefully I went slow enough. The next ones I will continue to go slow, but we're not going into where we normally go into. We're grabbing the post. So go ahead and front post double crochet and yarn over again, and we're going to do this all the way until the middle point. So 2 and 3, 4 and 5. The last front post double crochet. Okay, so now we're in the middle. What do we need to do next? Let's check our pattern. Alright, so we are in the second row. Let me make sure, there we go. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, and then we're going back into the front post double crochets all the way until the very end. And then it looks like we will do one more front post around that chain 3. Oh, just kidding. We do have one chain right here. So we're going to go all the way until the last one, chain 1, and then wrap around that chain 3. So we'll do it together. I know I kind of got a little wonky here. So in the center we're doing a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now onto our front post double crochets all the way until that last one. So let's go. Yarn over, and again we're grabbing the post, not the top of the stitch. This is not your normal stitch, it's a front post stitch. Pull up 2, and pull up 2. And we're going to keep going. If I go too fast, let me know in the chat. I'm more than happy to re-demonstrate. I know some of these can be tricky, but I just want to make sure that you guys get it. And it is not a bother at all if you want me to go more in depth or show you something a little bit differently. I know everyone learns different, but we are going to finish that last one. And then let's take a look at our pattern. And now I am feeling like this is a little rigid, so if I go back and make one with worsted weight, I will probably go up in hook size. But that's just me giving you my notes as we go, so you can kind of learn along the way with me. Because not everything goes right the first time if you haven't already figured that out as you've made other projects. Now remember, we got to this last one, and we have that little dot right there, which means we need to do one chain before we do the final front post double crochet. I can always leave this here. I don't know if that really helps you guys at all, but here we go. So chain 1 might just give you more headache, and then we're going to grab that chain 3 from the previous row, treat it as a stitch, so you're grabbing the whole chain, not just one loop, but you're so you don't want to sit there and try to grab one strand. I'm hoping I'm showing that right. You want to grab the whole set of chains so it acts like a front post double crochet. Now let's go ahead and see what we're doing next. We've gone here, we've gone here, now we're going to start over here. 1, 2, 3 chains, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets into that chain space. So don't overthink these diagrams. They're literally just a map telling you where to put the stitches. It's telling you to put them all right in that chain 1 space. So let's go ahead and chain 3 and then put 5 double crochets into that space. How'd I know that you wanted to learn that? Oh, I'm glad you did. Yeah, Jen, actually, she's in the chat right now. Hi, Jen. Hopefully you're feeling better. She was at an event where I was actually working on this scarf, so she definitely saw it firsthand. So we're gonna chain 3, and into that chain space, we're doing 5 double crochets. But see, look, this is gonna have a right side and a wrong side. So this is the side that's gonna have the texture. This is going to be the kind of side that's a little bit boring, but that is okay. That's where you're going to start seeing these shapes develop, is in that front post. So let's go ahead and do our 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Alright, so what's next? After the 5 double crochets, now we've got these chains with a single crochet and chains. That's how we're going to start creating these open gaps going on. So 1, 2, 3, single crochet. The single crochet goes in between. I don't think I did it in between. I think I did it on top, which is interesting. Maybe I'll try in between now, because I think when I made my original one, I went on top. So we're going to go in between the second and the third. Give me a second. I just want to see. I just went on top of the middle one, which makes it more symmetric. We're going to keep going on top of the middle one. So 1, 2, 3, single crochet, 1, 2, 3. So let's walk through that together. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I went on top of the third stitch. So if you're having trouble finding it, 1, 2, and 3, we're going to go into the top and single crochet. There's no yarn over before, so you're just inserting the hook, pull up 1, and then pull up 2. That's a single crochet. And we're going to chain 3 more. If you guys want me to re-demonstrate that, again, let me know in the chat. I'm totally fine doing everything 500 times if it makes you all happy and you all learn how to make a ton of stuff. Okay, so what do we do next? Now we're in the center. We just did this. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets into that middle section, followed by chain 2, and then 5 more double crochets. And we're doing all of that into this middle section. So we'll be there for a minute. Now let's do it together. Yarn over. I'm going into the open space. Pull up 1, 2, and 2. Do that 4 more times. We should have 5 total. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, now we're going to chain 2, because that's what the map told us to, and we're going to do our second set of 5 double crochets. Again, we're in the same spot, so don't go anywhere yet. Keep doing the 5 more. And 5. Alright. Now, more than likely, you're getting that we're just going to end up mirroring it. So we're going right back into this section where we're going to chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. We're just mirroring what we did on the way up. This is our center point, and we're going to keep going out. So chain 3. Find the middle. So 1, 2, 3. That's where I'm going in. If you didn't see that, 1, 2, and 3. So into that third stitch, we're doing a single crochet, chain 3. Perfect. Give you guys a second to catch up, take my sip of water, and then we'll see what's next. Oops. Alright, so after the chain 3, we're back at this end. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets into that chain 1 space, followed by 1 right on top of the chains. So hopefully you guys can see that, and I will walk you through it now. So 5 double crochets into the chain 1 space. Now you guys are like, well, it doesn't look like chain 1 space, you just have a loop, because remember, this was the chain 3, which was your first double crochet, followed by another chain, which was the chain 1 space. So that's why we chained 4. So you're just going to go right in to that spot with your first double crochet, and all 5 actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then what I do is I pull everything up to the top, because that final double crochet we're working into the chain, and I want it to be, this is going to be really difficult to show you, but I want it to be into the 3rd chain from this spot. So let's try, if I use my high-tech pointer here, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go into this spot right here. Now my chains, because we do turn every row, might need to be turned a little bit, but I'm just trying to demonstrate and show you guys what you're looking for. So that last double crochet, or our 6th one, because we already did 5 into this spot, is going to go into that chain. That's the 3rd one, and of course I'm glad I showed you guys, because it is a tight fit. And if that becomes an issue, guys, oh my goodness, it should not be an issue. I never had this issue with when I was going. Maybe it's just because I'm on camera. But if that ever becomes an issue, just start chaining looser. I'm notorious for not doing that. But anyway, there we go. So go ahead and get your chain in there. If you got to start chaining looser when you guys do the turns, mental note, chain loosely. It will help. Alright, we're going to do a couple more rows, because I do want to get it to a point where you can see where the repeat is, and then we'll start shifting to the border if you choose to do the border like I did. So now we just did this row. We're going to work back this way, and this is where we're going to chain 4 and then do the front post double crochets all the way through the end of that bundle. So let's chain 4, and now we're on the not so pretty side. I only say that because all the texture and all the fun effects are on this side, and so when we're working on this side it just feels a little bleh, but that's okay, that's part of it. Okay, so now we're front post double crocheting again for this row. So you're just grabbing the whole post. You should have gaps. That's how you know you've got the right section. And working a double crochet, only instead of the top of the stitch, we're working it around the whole post. And you're going to do that 5 times. And then we'll get to, you'll naturally be at that section where the chain 3s are in the previous row. But we are doing something slightly different, because we're back in that 2-row repeat. So going back to our diagram, this is where we are going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by front post double crochets into those next sections. So front, 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 and then we should be at the middle, and we'll mirror it back. But let's do that together. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now front post double crochet all the way to the center. I will say, working with the worsted weight, it does make this pattern thicker. I think I do prefer it on the DK weight. That's just my preference. If you guys are using a bigger hook, let me know how it's working for you. It likely will drape a lot better if I was using a thicker hook. So instead, I probably would have used this bad boy. And this one is, God, I don't even have eyesight problems yet. I can't see it. There we go. Okay. That would have been a K. That one might have been better. Even a J would have been better, but K would have probably been a lot better for this one, with this yarn being thicker. Okay, so now we're at the center. We were working this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just going back the other way. So front post double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're just going right back into our front post double crochets. Hopefully you guys are all getting this. Does anyone need me to demonstrate another part of it? I don't want to switch to the border yet. First off, I think we have one more row to do before we do that anyway. But two, I would hate to leave anyone behind if they have questions or want me to re-demonstrate. So I did go right into the chain 4. I think you guys get that it is repeating, but I'll go ahead and show you it on this fancy Nancy map. Okay, so we did the front post double crochets here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going right back into front post double crochets, chain 4, front post double crochets. So once we get to the end, I'll pause here again, but it's just a cycle. 5, chain 4, 5, chain 4. We just did 5, I chained 4. Now I'm going to do the final ones over here, and then it'll take me to the end. And I'll show you guys that again. 2, 3, and 4, 5. And then now that we're at this section, this is where we go back to chain 1, and then we're working, it's weird that it had me do a front post down here, but we're working a regular double crochet into that chain 3 right there. So we're working a regular double crochet this time. I wonder if that's a pattern flaw. I find a lot of them. So chain 1, and then we're double crocheting again into the 3rd chain. So you're going to want to, hopefully I'm showing you, and you're going to want to go into that top chain. Show you nice, and we're just going to 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So now when we go to our pattern, we're going to go right back into, this is where the repeat really takes over. So we just did the front posts. Well, we're actually up here, but we're just going to repeat. Now, as you can see, this is kind of cut off, but this is where you can just go to the previous row, and you're just going to bounce back and forth between these 2 rows. So the next one is back to that chain 3 with 5 double crochets into the chain space, chain 1 space. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn it and ooh and ah, because we're seeing our beautiful textures starting to really pop now. You guys should really be seeing it. This is a dope pattern. It really is. But anyway, okay. 5 double crochets into that chain spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, triangle scarves. You're probably starting to go, oh God, this is starting to get super wide. I promise you, as this keeps developing, every other row it kind of flares and then tightens back up, flares and then tightens back up, and then as the piece gets bigger and you block it, Jen, that's going to be my little pretty, yay! But Jen, I know you are way better at blocking your items than I am, but that will maintain the triangle shape. So don't panic if you start noticing that this is flaring a little bit. It's totally normal. It tightens with every row. But we're going to go right back into that repeat, which is the chain 3, single crochet, chain 3. Hopefully you can see that there, and we're going to be doing that all the way across. So, chain 3, single crochet, and I'm single crocheting into the third stitch on that cluster. Let me get us some more yarn, and then we're going to chain 3 more, and then we're going right back into our 5 cluster of double crochets. So right into this section, work 5 double crochets. Four and 5. And you guys let me know if you want me to do 2 more rows with you guys, or do we want to switch to the border as I finish this one. If you guys want, I'm a-okay. I can demonstrate 2 more rows. It is not difficult. We're going to chain 3 again and go into the 3rd stitch right here and work that single crochet, followed by another chain 3. And then we're in the center. This is where we do 5 double crochets. Again, if you guys want to see that a little better, 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. So that's what we're doing in the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're staying in the same spot, chain 2, and we're working 5 more, same spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, let's get some more yarn. We're going to mirror what we did going up the first side, and we're just going to do the same thing going down this way. And then since no one's telling me they need me to repeat it, we're going to switch after this to go into what I did for the border, so you guys, when you measure it out and make this the size that you want, you can switch to the border. So chain 3, look for that 3rd double crochet, work a single crochet into that, chain 3 more, and then go back and we're working 5 double crochets into this chain 4 space. And 4 and 5, and then chain 3. You guys are about to see my art skills as I attempt to draw on this diagram what I'm doing. 3rd stitch, work a single crochet, chain 3. In that little loop you have here, you're going to work 5 double crochets into that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to work a 6th double crochet. Go ahead and pull all your stitches so you can reveal that 3rd chain right there, and that's where you want to put your 6th double crochet there to finish that row. Okay, no one told me they wanted me to re-demonstrate, so we're going to move on to the border, but here's what I want you to keep doing. You're going to go back and forth every other row. So the next row, if you're gonna continue. I want you to keep working on this afterwards and then come back to this video for the border, but I will show you the border so that you actually have something to come back to and work on. So the next one would again be your chain 4, which is, let's see, I want to show you here and here at the same time. So this is where you'll work, and again, if you guys need to screenshot this, here's another chance to screenshot it so you guys can take this and work with it. 3, 2, 1, beep. Okay, so you're going to go back and do your 4 chains, and then you're going to front post double crochet, followed by 4, front post double crochet, for the next row. So you're going to work that way, this way. Then you're going to go back to your other row, which is the 5 double crochet clusters, chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, 5 double crochet clusters. So you're going to keep working those 2 row repeats until that piece gets to be about, I did it till about 60 inches, because once you do the border, you're probably going to easily add another 5 inches of the border, depending on how thick you want the border to be. But the whole trick is, I ended on the row without the front post. So I ended on the row with the regular double crochets, not the front post double crochets. So keep working each row back and forth, ending on the double crochet row. Okay? So once you get there, here's how I did the border. Oh, I guess I should draw it first, and then I can walk you through it, because we are practicing diagrams. I did, let's see, I would have finished over here somewhere, so I would do a chain 3. Oh, goodness. It's good. Anyone else keep all the pens that never work? I'm guilty. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, single crochet. Let me just make sure that's what I did here. 'Cause all in the same spot. Yep. And then I chained 5 and single crochet. And let me just see how I did the first set. It was into that section. So then it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet. This is the worst art project I've ever done. Don't judge my drawing, but if you want to attempt to take another picture of what that looks like before we get started, I'm going to walk you through it, because that is the worst drawing of my life. I think stick figures would have been better, but go ahead and take your screenshot and don't judge me. But let's go ahead and walk you through how to do that so it makes sense. So let's pretend that this is a super long shawl and it is 60 inches, and we're going to switch to that border. And the way we would do that is you're going to chain 3, we're going to turn, and I go right back into that same stitch with a single crochet. It will create a super small loop. Then I'm going to chain 5. That's what this was supposed to represent. And then single crochet into the chain 3 space. So I'm going to be using these chain 3 spaces along the way. So after you've chained 5, go right into that section. I'm grabbing the whole chain and I'm single crocheting. I'm going to do chain 5 again, and I went right back in to that other chain 3 space with a single crochet. We're going to do that all the way across. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, find the chain 3 space, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, find the next chain 3 space, single crochet. When I get to the center, I'm just adding one more of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 5, single crochet, chain 5 again, single crochet into the same spot. It'll create a little loop-de-doopy there. Technical term, by the way, loop-de-doop-de. Go ahead and chain 5 more, and then we're just 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't chain 5 and count or talk at the same time. And then you're just going to mirror it. You're going to go right back to the other side. I'm going to do a couple rows with you guys, though, just so you can see how much easier it will be after this initial row. But chain your 5, go into the chain 3 space, and we'll do our single crochet. 3, 4, 5 more. next chain 3 space, single crochet. I love the laughing faces, Jen. Yes, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Loop-de-doopy is our technical term. I don't know how you would spell that. Do we even want to know? I feel like that should be on a t-shirt now at this point. Alright, we're getting close to that end, so chain 5. And we're going into the last space. So this is where you're going to want to try to grab the top of your chain 3 from the previous row. Single crochet, and now we've got to mimic this little tiny loop-de-doopy. So make sure you are chaining 3 again and going into the exact same spot with another single crochet. And that's going to be what we repeat for the rest of the border. So we'll do another one together. 1, 2, 3, and turn. And into the small loop-de-doopy, we're just going to keep using that term. Work your single crochet, and then go right back into our chain 5. I moved kind of quickly on that one, Jen. If you need me to slow down and re-demonstrate, you let me know. But now, single crochet in the chain 5 from the previous row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet into that next loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to single crochet. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep going so you guys see exactly what's going on here. And this is going to be our border. So if you are trying to recreate this border effect, and if you guys are just coming back to us or you're just now checking in with this video, this is what we are making. Feel free to save this video. It will be available afterwards so you can recreate your project. But if you're trying to do this border, on mine, I did about 6 rows. I probably could have done a couple more and made it a little bit thicker. I think it would have emphasized the border and it would have been easier to see. The weight of the fringe will make your border a little bit, it will drag out your border a little bit, making it stand out a little bit more because it will pull it this way a little bit, if you can see. But I wouldn't rely on that hugely. Yarn is not super heavy. Again, we're at the beginning, so we're going to work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, we're not at the beginning, we're at the center. You want to go back into that same one with a single crochet and then go back down this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab the loop. But the border goes very quickly. This is very similar to the shawl version that we did on the first one, Jen, the one that you actually ended up making a few weeks back. What if you went scalloped edge instead of the fringe? Would it work on this pattern? If you mean scalloped edge, are you referring to just ending it here? Because I almost did that with this piece. And if that's the case, again, just end on your, I wouldn't end on a front post double crochet row. I would end on the regular double crochet row, or the piece may lay differently on the ends because it will want to stick up on you versus laying more flat. So but you don't need the border. That is one of the options I definitely spelled out when we started, is I almost opted to just leave the scalloped end, just rock that, because it was pretty. It was really pretty. But I do like the fact that I did the border, but you don't need to. I think the piece would work both ways. I'll let you decide which one you want to do. Make it your own. But I think it's definitely open for debate. And again, fringe, you don't even need the fringe. I think it could have just done the scalloped the whole way and called it a day. Oh my god, that rhymed. Guys, we're getting to the end, so if you guys are here, don't forget you're going to do one more chain 5. Now you have that small chain 3 loop from the previous row. You're going right into it. Single crochet, chain 3, right back in, single crochet. So that is that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do one more. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to turn. But this is what you would repeat. If you are doing a border, you just want to kind of keep an eye out. Again, this will stretch a little, but not much, so you kind of want to make it thick or it may not stand out as much, and then you kind of lose the effect that it has. I chained 3, right? Yep. And then single crochet into that chain 3 space, chain 5, and into that loop with a single crochet. Hopefully you can see that. Chain 5, and this is just your fishnet. The only difference is if you remember that other shawl we made, we worked from the point of the triangle and then we worked up. This is different just because you're working in those patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're just going to keep doing it. And then I'll show you how I do the fringe if you guys have never done that before. I know it's not super difficult, but if you've never been walked through it, you might be like, how do I even begin to attach it? So we'll do this last row. I'll make some fringe, show you how I attached it on my piece, and then I'll leave you guys to your own demise to work your projects throughout the week. If you guys do make these projects, I would love, before I finish, don't forget you're at this point, so go back into the same one, creating that little loop-de, and then keep going. But I would love for you guys to send me your finished pieces. I am so ecstatic when I see a student actually like try something and get it right. I mean, you guys really do get it right off the bat, and they look so gorgeous, and I love seeing different yarns that you guys all use. My email is the best way. It's geneticscreations@gmail.com. It should be in the YouTube channel, but you can feel free to send it there. Go and single crochet, and then let's go ahead and get to the end of this row so we can practice some fringe. I feel like I make a bunch of doll shawls because I didn't make a big full one. But I can show you guys the big one. If you are coming in a little bit late and want to see the finished product, that is not a problem. I will definitely do a quick recap at the end of class for everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are at that corner. Find your chain 3 space. Work a single crochet. Chain another 3. And work a single crochet. So let's pretend you have now done the border for as long as you want, and we want to add some fringe. Dude, the border looks better on the worsted weight, in my opinion, than it does on the DK weight. Anywho, just random thing I was noticing. So if you've gotten this far and you've done your border, and let's say it is the full 65 or 70 inches or however big you are making this, you can feel free now to cut it, and when you fasten off, I always pull it through one more time, and then I pull it tight. So if this is your piece, you don't need to worry about weaving this end in, because I will tell you, it just gets caught up in the fringe, and you don't have to, because I'm going to tie it into the fringe. This one, you may want to work through. I work it around a couple of times around the magic ring into these stitches. I guess I can show you. Might as well, because this is a really good best practice to end up locking your item in that magic ring. So, again, I have a link for these needles. If you guys don't have metal needles, I love these. These have a large eye, but it's a narrow eye. And if you ever end up needing to sew buttons with yarn instead of thread, you will understand why I don't always use these versions. Because if you use this, there is no way that eye is going to go through a button if I'm trying to attach a button to my piece. So I have the link for these. They're super cheap. It is in the bottom. It's an affiliate link. You guys know the drill. But I'm going to show you how I weave in the ends when I've done a magic ring. First, I want to see which side my end is coming from. So I pull my yarn just to kind of see it's coming from this side, so I'm probably gonna start going that way. And all I do for the first few is I'm gonna pull it tight again, just in case, and then I grab these threads and I'm just working through all of these. Sometimes I can get more at a time, sometimes I only grab a few, but I want to keep working in that circle because I'm just reinforcing how tight this circle gets kept. So you should end up popping back out on that side, and I'll do that a few different times before I take the yarn and go into other stitches and finish weaving it in. So hopefully you guys are seeing this. But again, this is why I really love using yarn needles to weave in my ends instead of the tedious task of using a hook and trying to hook it into your stitches. It's what I did for years, so I mean, if that's all you got, by all means do what you can with what you got. But I think this pack only cost like either $5 or $8, so I hope you can see how fast I'm flying through this. Weaving in ends is so much easier with a yarn needle. So once I've gone around the circle a few times, then I'll go ahead and start branching out to hiding it in the rest of my stitches. It's not really like a need, but it's more just to get it out of the way. And then you are good to cut it. It will stay. I've had it stay on all my projects when I do things this way. So that is how I would fasten that off. And then when it comes to fringe, fringe is super easy if you have a book. I use my trusty pencil case. It's what I've used for a long time. This is like your Walmart $5 pencil case, guys. Nothing special. I don't even have a link for it because it's probably like ridiculous. I mean, if you have a book, that'll work. But this is what I've always used for fringe. I go the long way because I like longer fringe. But this is the best way to get everything to cut multiple at a time and not just hate your life. But let's just make a few. Literally, this is all I do every time on my scarf. So hopefully you're taking some notes on some quick ways to save you some much needed time, because fringe should not, people love it, and I know it takes time, but it should not be like the death of you. I always tend to do 4 strands. If I'm working with thick yarn, I may opt to do 3. And if I'm working with super thin yarn, I will sometimes up it to 5. But even on the DK weight yarn I used 4 strands. So I'm just going to take my 4 strands, I'm going to fold it in half. Make sure my ends are even-ish, and I'm holding this part, and then this is how I attach my fringe. I insert my hook. I start from the middle, and I'll explain why in a second, but I just find that hole. I grab the middle point on the fringe that I folded in half. There's my ends. I'm going to pull it through, keep that on there, as you can see, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull all of them through. Hopefully I didn't block anyone's view. I'll do a few. And then you're just pulling this tight. Now for me, I am not a heavy fringe person. I like to do fringe on every other one of these. And I'll show you what that looked like, because this is the one that I completed. And as you can see, it's not overwhelming, the fringe, but it's a little bit more spaced out. So if you like the heavier fringe, you're going to want to do it on every loop versus every other loop. So I did every other loop. When you get to the corner, I hate when I don't have one going into the very corner loop. So even though technically I went here and I should hypothetically skip that one, it would have created like a little bulge right here, and then my corner would be like that, and it would have bugged the living bejesus out of me. So even if you're supposed to skip one, I would still recommend throwing one in that chain 3 loop right there, it's not going to matter that some people are like, oh my gosh, but I did every other and it's going to look off. I think it looks better knowing that it's there on the corner. But that's just something to be on the lookout, and it's only because I don't count stitches. I'm just going by the size of my project. So there will be times when I may actually have the extra space there and I will skip a stitch before putting in the corner one, and that's okay. So whatever you end up with, just make sure to throw one into that corner piece, because it will just help your blocking and everything look as it should. But as you can see, you should have something going. We have the ripple effect going through, or as Jen said, the scalloped edge, which is probably more technically specific. And then we have this fishnet style, and then the fringe. You can stop right here. I think this piece would have been gorgeous without the border just the same. I just was going off of the inspiration photo, which had the border, and that's how it is. As you can tell, I think some of these were thicker than the one in the image. I do think this image was a little bit misleading, but that's what happens when you find free patterns. Sometimes people are just computer generating these. They're throwing an image that they think it looks like, and they may not have actually tested the pattern to see if that's actually what would come out. Cool, you win some, you lose some. I don't think this was a loss at all. Just know that when you're out there on Pinterest and you're finding these images, just know that that may happen, because it happened to me on a few different shawls. And it's very frustrating, but I tried, so you don't have to. So at least you guys know this is more the texture that you guys can expect when you're doing this and what it will look like. And then you should have a border as such if you do a border, or Jen, if you end up leaving the border out, send me a picture, dude. I want to see what that would look like. I feel like that would look really pretty as well. And then, again, if you guys like fringe, totally optional. There you have it. If you don't, then you're just going to have something that looks more like this without the fringe. But I'll do one more fringe with you guys in case I went too fast. If you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the chat. I am looking at it. I've got it up front and center, so I will be more than happy to go over any of it. Here are the 4 cut pieces that I have. I'm going to fold those in half-ish. Doesn't need to be super exact. I put my hook in the spot that I'm going. Again, I'm skipping that spot and I'm going into this one. Grab the halfway point, pull those through, grab all of them, and pull them through as such. And then you'll just pull it tight. So there you have it, and you'll keep working it up and you'll have the nice scallop finish right here, and then the fishnet, and then the fringe. So you guys are all set. Again, it looks like it's flaring. It won't. Once you get it going, it'll just block out nicely. And then plus, once it's heavier, it just will naturally. This was my neckline. So my neckline is pretty straight. It doesn't like want to do this. Which I know sometimes when you're at the start of a scarf, it can get kind of nerve-wracking, because I do feel like I fight that in a lot of patterns. Sometimes people geometrically have the counts off on the stitch. Sometimes it's just it needs time. And once the product gets heavier, you're good to go. But that is what we've wrapped up today. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead. I'm going to be wrapping up now. I know we've been going for about an hour, and I know that can be... I will crochet for hours on end, but I know some people that can get overwhelming. But if you guys are heading out, please wish your fellow stitchers happy stitching on the way out. Throw that in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to recap a little bit. We went through this pattern. If you guys want one more chance to take a screenshot of that diagram, here it is. Go ahead and screenshot that. Otherwise, I'm just going to go over some more housekeeping. Don't forget your free tool. I will go ahead and pull that up so you guys can see that again. Your free tool is available. It's not this one. That is the site for the yarn. But your free tool is in the description below. So you've got this printable PDF, 100% free. It's 4 pages. It'll take you through a lot of abbreviations. I recommend keeping this with you whenever you are crocheting a pattern or anything, because you'll be like, oh, what is BLO? Oh, look at that, back loops only. Or we worked on front post double crochets today. Now, we actually did it in a diagram form, and that one's not on this diagram. This is a terrible example, Jen. Judge me later. But front post double crochet is in here. You've got your front post double crochet right here. You've got front post double treble. There's a lot of things in there, but when you're working patterns, you have a way there. You also have a link to my business card. This will take you to my Etsy shop. It will take you to my YouTube channel. It'll take you to my email. So if you guys want, print this off, use that. You have a way to get in touch with me at any point in time. I mean it. Like, go ahead and send me your questions. If you want to email me a picture and be like, I'm struggling here, I'd actually love to help you out. My passion is yarn. My passion is crochet. My passion is just teaching you guys how to do it. So if you guys have anything that you're working on or you're struggling with, I'm more than happy to help you guys out in any way that I possibly can. Aside from that, don't forget, subscribe, hit the notifications, because next week's class, it changes. We are going to be on Thursday next week, not Wednesday. And I'm going to be switching to Thursdays going forward. Don't forget tools. If you guys need any of those links are down below. If you guys are here for Color Street, don't forget to take a look at that. That is also in the links below, and I am here for you if you guys have any questions. If you guys head to my Etsy store and you've made it with me this far, you guys get 10% off. So go ahead and use the discount code GETHOOKED at checkout. You should get 10% off. That is good on any scarves that I have listed there, as well as any patterns. So 10% off, use the discount code, get hooked, it is yours. Follow my shop because I'm always listing more items. The scarf that I was showing earlier, this one will be posted. I took the photos already. I just have to get the listing all in there and get it uploaded. But I will be listing this one shortly. So if you want to be first in the know, follow the shop and go ahead and mark your items that you like that are favorite as well. It just helps me out, and it also helps me find out what more things to make for all of the people that follow me. But otherwise, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the notifications. I'll see you Thursday at 2 o'clock. Happy stitching. If you guys haven't already, put it in the chat on the way out. Wish each other a happy stitching, and I'll see you next week. I don't know what's planned for next week, Jen. I am forewarning you. I was thinking about doing another diagram. I have to show you since you're still here. I know some people are kind of like, what's going on? I'm going to show you. You get a sneak peek on what I'm working on. And I know I'm a little far away from the mic, so I'm sorry. But I needed to grab my bag. Look at this pattern. Check that one out. And this is actually what I've been working on. So if you guys are just staying with me, you're getting a whole behind the scenes, just fun part of me right now because class is pretty much over. I'm just showing you what I have behind the scenes. And this is what that ends up looking like. So I might do this one next time. I really want to write this pattern out. This is an awesome one. But maybe we'll do this one next week. Oh yeah, see, I love this part. And then these, again, more front post double crochets. I'm loving what it does to this texture. So this is my current whip, if you will. If you're new to crochet language, that is your work in progress. But it's not done yet. I'm hoping to finish it in the next couple days. And then this one I hope to actually write as a pattern. I need to do it in a few different colors. I would love to see this one in an ombre. But anyways, guys, it's been real. I so love that you joined. I so love doing these classes with you guys. Get hooked. All I gotta say, check out my other classes. The playlists, all of them get stored in there. They're in the Get Hooked playlist. That should be in the link below. I will see you guys next week.